Hi, my name is David and welcome to a short video demonstrating how to use the swivel clamp upgrade for the model Ektelon Model D, DE, and H machines. Stringing with this upgrade is very similar to stringing with any other swivel clamp machine, but there are a few things to note. First of all, it is necessary on the first string that is clamped before pulling is to clamp a little bit off of the frame. That will allow the second clamp to reach in and grab the string when it's time to clamp off this particular string. Another option, if you prefer not to clamp off off of the frame, another option is to use the starting clamp in this position here. In this case, I'm going to be pulling two main strings at one time. That's my preferred stringing method. The reason being is if you pull across the frame, you have an angle here, you have friction across the frame, and it results in less tension. My preferred option is to pull two main strings at one time. The tension is not the same. If you notice, it's kind of like tuning a guitar, but the solution for that is to do a quick pull when it's under tension, hold on to the tension head and do a quick pull, and then clamp again. That then pretty much equals out the tension on these two strings. Certainly you lose much less tension on this particular string here than if you pulled over the frame and then clamped off. And time-wise it's about the same because you're not clamping and pulling here, you're only pulling one time and have a little bit extra activity here with adding a little bit of tension, but realistically it takes about the same amount of time and it's a much more consistent tension. The next step then, of course, is just to move in with the clamp it in place. Once again, pulling the next two main strings at the same time. I'm not going to show you all of this. I'm going to go ahead and string out the rest of the racket and then show you how the clamp moves on the turntable. This will save a little bit of time in the video. To save a little time on the video, all of the main strings have been actually strung, but now I'll go ahead and show and demonstrate how the clamps can move back and forth. As we talked about, my preference is to pull two mains at once, so in that particular case it's a very easy adjustment. Move it over, clamp the string, and lock. However, if you prefer to string the other way, it's a very easy, just swing the clamp around. Again, one of the advantages of the machine is that you can just lock it in any position that you would prefer. Again, just swing it back and forth. Always move the clamp to the center of the machine. Again, you can, for ease of convenience or whatever, you can move the clamping lever on the string clamp either side. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to lock the base in place. Again, which way is better? I don't know. It's up to you to decide. And basically the same thing on the other side. Now this is the longer clamp, takes a little bit less leverage to lock and unlock. In this case you always just have to pull back and clear the other clamp. Again, this isn't rocket science. And that's pretty much it. Just move the clamps back and forth around the table as needed. And again, one thing important to note is anytime you feel that you're not comfortable with exactly where the lever is locking, for example, in this case it's getting a little close here, it's an easy adjustment. Just click it up over and you've got an easy release there in a little bit different position. Now moving on to the cross strings, once again it's time to reposition the clamps, one on each side of the turntable. In this particular case it's probably best to have the levers lock in this position because it's very convenient. In this case, once again, I've gone ahead and finished the cross strings, but we'll show the movement of the clamps as they march up and down, or as they march down the turntable. So again, it's very, very simple. Just you know, clamp and lock, and then of course you spin over, do the next string. In this case, it's you know, pull the next string. I like to pull the first two cross strings at the same time because it's much easier on the starting knot. Basically using the same technique of, you know, pulling this to kind of get a little more tension on the first cross string. It really doesn't seem, it's easier on the starting knot, saves you one clamp, and overall really doesn't seem to affect the string tension much. Once again, just position the clamp, lock. In this case, it was already locked. Moving along, then of course the next one would be unlock, and as your technique gets refined on this process, you can really do both steps almost at one time. Again, it doesn't take a lot of force to unlock the clamps and move them. And once again, if you think the locking lever is not exactly in the right spot, you can just adjust it a little bit to make it a little more comfortable. Also, you may decide, well, gee, I want to lock from this side as opposed to the other side, so that's very easy also to accomplish. Really, it becomes a matter of technique. My experience has been once you get used to this stringing process with the swivel clamps, it's really not, I'm not going to say it's quicker than glide bars, but I don't think there's any time penalty either. And really the only, as you move down, as you get closer and closer to this end of the turntable, it is necessary to do one adjustment, and that is to go up and spin around. You'll have to adjust this lever again because you run out of room to have the clamp positioned this way. And you just turn it around and continue on down the turntable. And that's really it. You know, once again, when you get down to the end, you have the flexibility. You run out of room, no problem. Just spin it around, and you're ready to clamp.